But then you hear Gold Truck, the witness who's the Gold Truck, what he says. And he says verbatim.
I ain't skid mark or nothing, I wasn't even going for it. That lady in the back of me, she didn't know what was happening. That's how she called that record. She was running in the back of me, she pulled on the other side, and that's how it is.
I didn't skid marked or nothing because I wasn't even going that fast. That lady in the back of me, she didn't see what's happening. That's how she caused that wreck. She was going to run into the back of me, and she pulled into the other side.
On the 17th of December 2024, a fatal car crash in Louisiana killed 78-year-old Herman Hall. Police said former LSU wide receiver Kyren Lacy caused the crash while passing cars and later charged him with negligent homicide and felony hit and run. On the 12th of January 2025, Lacy turned himself in, bonded out, and awaited trial. But just months later, on the 12th of April 2025, he was found dead in Houston in what police called a suicide just days before a grand jury hearing. New evidence has been released by attorney Matthew Ory in defense of former LSU wide receiver Kyren Lacy, evidence that could rewrite the story surrounding the fatal crash of the 17th of December 2024. Surveillance footage shows Lacy's vehicle traveling more than 70 yards behind the two cars involved in the deadly collision. This directly challenges the original police narrative that reckless passing by Lacy caused the crash.
That's the beauty of the investigative report that I now have my hands on. We know from data that Kyren Lacy did in fact pass 4 cars. There's no disputing that. Further north, Kyren Lacy passed 4 cars. However, he was back in his lane of travel 92.3 yards. Back in his lane, behind Mr. Hall. At the time of impact, he's 72.6 yards behind the vehicles at the time of impact. Keyword, behind the vehicles. That is not how this story was ever painted. Never. This is the gold truck that's referenced in the report. This is heading north. So this is the lead vehicle heading north. And the vehicle that actually collided with Mr. Hall's vehicle, that would be Vehicle 2. Vehicle 2 was tailgating, all right, according to the data, again, of the district attorney's office, not me, according to their data, tailgating at 49.6 miles an hour, 0.5 seconds behind the gold truck, 1.5 seconds before the crash. You turn 75 degrees to the left all of a sudden. That's what happens when you tailgate. When this woman was in the ambulance, they issued her a ticket, all right? You know for what? Take a wild guess. Following too close. Data from the district attorney's office tells me you're traveling 0.5 seconds at 49.6 miles an hour, 1.5 seconds before the accident. That's not tailgating? That's not following too close? Of course it is. Ticket was taken away. The gold truck, the lead vehicle in oncoming traffic, who, by the way, is probably one of the 2 most important witnesses in this entire case. We know now that 2.99 seconds prior to him pulling off the road, he was traveling 28 miles an hour. 28 miles an hour. Now, you're going to hear his statement in a little while, and it's going to all make sense. But let's be very clear right now for the intent and purposes of what we're doing. There are 2 vehicles that we're talking about right now that are traveling north. The second vehicle in oncoming traffic, which is Vehicle 2, their data says she is tailgating. She is 0.5 seconds at 49.6 miles an hour, 1.5 seconds before the crash. And you saw her data, 50.3 to 49.6.
Yes.
This is their investigator looking at Vehicle 2's statements, and now he's analyzing.
Newly released documents reveal inconsistencies in witness statements about the crash. On Trooper Bodycam, the witness first describes trying to avoid another car, even mentioning she was eating snacks and listening to music when the crash unfolded. In her recorded hospital interview, the same witness describes the truck braking hard, trying to get into a dollar store parking lot, and another car slamming into her. These shifting details raise questions about accuracy and consistency. But here's the most concerning part. In the body cam footage, the trooper appears to recap and even suggest details, including being the first to mention swerving off the road. Later, when obtaining the written statement, the trooper tells the witness what to document. This directly contradicts her earlier words. These discrepancies between the body cam interview, hospital account, and written statement are now central to the defense's argument, raising serious questions about whether Kyren Lacy was unfairly blamed for a crash he may not have caused.
2.99 seconds before the gold truck eases off to the road, eases off of the road,
Right.
he's traveling at 28 miles an hour.
Right.
That all is in this report. You watch someone slam on their brakes. You watch them stop. You watched a car coming at you in your lane of traffic, but you never thought to just tap the brakes? Really? You never touch your brakes in the last 5 seconds until 0.5 seconds before the impact. That's their data. It's not mine. The gold truck, they end up getting a statement from this individual. There's 2 of them. The very first one, what I noticed on the body cam was that the conversation was going on for 4 minutes and approximately 30 seconds prior to the body cam being activated. And of course, when the body cam's activated, I don't know what you said those previous 4.5 minutes, they end up at this individual's house to obtain a statement. I want to play right now how that statement started.
All right, sir. So, look, don't worry about filling any of this top information, like your name, your address. Don't worry about any of that. Just right here, if you could, I'll just have you write exactly what you saw. Just make sure to include, where you were.
I don't even know what the name of that highway.
It's Highway 20. Highway 20. That you just.
All right, me and my wife gonna figure out right quick.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes and the brakes, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
I ain't skid mark or nothing, but I wasn't even going for it. That lady in the back of me, she didn't say what was happening. That's how she called that wreck. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side, and that's not in it.
So, but the charger was coming right at you,
Right,
correct?
right.
And that's why you had to
Head
slam
on
on your
with
brake, head on with you. So yeah, just make sure you include that, and that's very important because we're trying to locate this charger right now. So just include that in the statement, and I'll read it over, and then I'll be out of here.
In that video, you can clearly hear the suggestive nature indicating that I need you to say that you had to slam on your brakes and you had to avoid a charger.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes and the brakes, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
But then you hear Gold Truck, the witness who's the Gold Truck, what he says. And he says verbatim.
I ain't skid mark or nothing, I wasn't even going for it. That lady in the back of me, she didn't say what was happening. That's how she called that wreck. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side, and that's not in it.
I didn't skid marked or nothing because I wasn't even going that fast. That lady in the back of me, she didn't see what's happening. That's how she caused that wreck. She was going to run into the back of me, and she pulled into the other side. See, when I have a witness who is the most critical, and he's telling you, I wasn't traveling fast. We know now that he wasn't. The data shows 2.99 seconds before that he was traveling 28 miles an hour. The data shows that. Now he corroborates that. And he goes on to say, I didn't even make a skid mark. That woman behind me, she caused that accident. And you give me this statement that is refused? I got a problem. What he's saying is she had to avoid hitting him. He specifically stated she caused that accident. But I've got an affidavit for arrest warrant right here. Nowhere in here does it say anything that you guys just saw on body cam. To the contrary, about that vehicle, it says the Gold Truck took evasive action by emergency braking and driving off the roadway to avoid a head-on crash. But you just heard he said, I wasn't even going fast. I didn't even skid mark. So what emergency braking are we referring to here? And what the hell was the point of this report? That is complete opposite. I would expect that you'll show this to where they can read what was said versus what was written. It's not written by him. And where it says signed, it's not signed. It's refused. By the way, the body cam wasn't on for this statement. It was turned off before obtaining this statement. And this is what we get back in a file. This. They say that they were going 30 to 35 miles an hour when Kyren passed him. He did. There's no disputing that. No one ever did, but he was back in his lane of travel. 92.3 yards back in. 72.6 at the time of impact. When they collide, he is 72.6. Before they collide, he is almost a football field away back in his lane. That's not disputed. What you can see is another car come to a stop, and then Kyren Lacy come to a stop. I don't know how else to tell anybody else that this is not mine. I didn't generate this. I didn't manipulate this. I didn't alter it. I didn't manufacture it. I received it from the district attorney's office. I then did my job, and I compare it to the report and the investigation of state police, and it is drastic. It's drastic. The very last line of the report from the district attorney's office says, the evidence submitted in the crash report does not support that Kyren Lacy should have known that his actions were the cause of the crash that happened approximately 72 yards in front of him. He was actually the second car to pull up behind, not even the first. At no point in time did he have to slam his brakes. He wasn't even close to the second car. He just eased in. He eased in. He went straight from there to the facility in Schriever for his football practice. But he had no idea he caused this accident because he didn't cause the accident. Kyren Lacy went to Houston that Friday with his mind made. He was suffering. There was a point in time that night at his apartment, the apartment that he, his little brother, and his cousin were in. His mind was made. He wanted the keys to that vehicle to, I don't know how to say this, to
take his life.
Yeah. So, it's either you give me my keys and I do this on my own accord, or this is going to go down right here, right now. Obviously, the keys were given. A welfare call was made. Keyword, welfare. Welfare check. Right? There was no crime. There's none of that, man. There's no drugs. None of that BS. The kid's mind was made. You know the rest of the story. And by the way, the shot was fired in the ground on purpose to let them know the seriousness of what was going on in his head.
So he wanted their attention.
He wanted his keys.
Yeah.
And they knew not to give him his keys. They knew what was going to happen. But what are you going to do? You going to watch it go down, or are you going to give him his keys?
Right.
His mind was made. Social media killed him. Killed him. All those tough guys behind the computer,
Yep.
same ones that are come after me when I do this interview, those guys, they're kids, man.
Yeah.
The difference between you and I, Martin, and them, they don't know anything else other than those devices.
Right.
You especially, I'm a little bit younger, but even myself, that's a later deal. That's all they know. They can't get away from them. And they believe what these people say. They believe them.
Right.
It doesn't matter what I showed you today. There are going to be people that are going to talk horribly about him. His parents had given me a pin of his picture. And at that funeral, I took it home with me, obviously, but as he's sitting there, he had always asked me previous to that, Mr. Matt, you got me, dog? Kyren, I promise you, I got you, dog. So I get home and I took that pin. It's got his picture on it, and I kept it out every day. And I wrote on the back of it, I got you, dog. Never let it leave that side. And this is my version, bringing clarity. Bringing his version is me telling him, I got you, dog. Whatever that's worth, I don't know. I hope that he's looking down and has a little peace, because he didn't go out with peace.
Despite these revelations, Louisiana State Police continue to stand by their reconstruction, maintaining that Lacy's actions triggered the deadly sequence of events. But the newly released video paints a very different picture, one that suggests Lacy may never have caused the crash at all. The new footage reignites concern over whether Lacy was unfairly portrayed in the court of public opinion before all facts were known. Lacy's death came just before he was to appear before a grand jury, and amid mounting legal and public scrutiny. The timing and stress bear reflection on how we support athletes under intense pressure. The case raises questions about how law enforcement, prosecutors, and local media handle investigations involving black athletes or high-profile suspects. Calls for independent reviews are growing. Continue to follow Melanin News for every development in the Kyren Lacy case. Stay informed, stay engaged, and stay empowered.